What's up, guys? This is Rise and welcome to another video. Some of my first battles of the season. I had to try out Shadow Scizor. One of my all-time favorite Pokemon is indeed Scizor, and this sleek metallic Pokemon is so high in attack. It was already a decent Pokemon, but Bullet Punch got buffed, and Bullet Punch is now the equivalent of what Counter used to be. If you've been playing Go Battle League or PvP for a long time, you remember how powerful Counter used to be with all the fighting type Pokemon like Medicham and things like Shadow Machamp and Deoxys Defense. Counter eventually got nerfed, so it generates a little bit less energy now. It still does a lot of damage, but Bullet Punch is like what Counter used to be now. So Pokemon like Shadow Scizor really going to pack a punch with that Bullet Punch. Now we're going to see how this thing performs. I paired it with two other Pokemon that got buffed, Galarian Moltres and Dragalge with Acid. Galarian Moltres now has access to Fly, and Dragalge running the Fast Attack Acid, which is a very efficient fast attack, probably the best poison attack in the game now. Excuse me, and here we go, getting things underway. I hope you guys enjoyed that triple metal sound video. That was pretty fun and was performing pretty well. Those those metal sound users, man, that was that video was it hit pretty hard. That was a fun one. And here we go, Shadow Scizor. I love that little claw animation he does. We had a funny short back in the day that reminds me of Scizor where he kind of waved goodbye, the Quagsire Sweep video. But anyway, here we go. We actually see an opposing Dragalge in this first battle, and one thing, if you do decide to run Shadow Scizor, it does require you to invest shields in it usually because it is very frail. It can't really take a hit, but it can output a lot of damage for you, as we're going to see. So normally we just see, and I'm not really doing anything fancy here, you know? Like, I'm just kind of staying in and just trying to output as much damage as I can. So, like, I would like to say that Scizor is kind of a high skill Pokemon because normally if you have a Pokemon that is really glassy, it can be more difficult to manage. But Scizor, you know, I'm just kind of trying to output as much damage as possible, not really doing anything fancy, at least in this first battle. We'll see if maybe we pull out some more fancy schmancy plays as these games go on, but a pretty comfortable game here. And once again, this is early season battles, so of course, as you get further in the season in an ELO system, you start to play trainers that are maybe more experienced or maybe of similar skill levels. So there might be some mismatches here early on. And I think the final battle of this video, it might be a bit of a mismatch with what happens in the team comp. But we're having fun here in the early season. Thank you guys for sending me some of your submissions. I have some good footage of my own I'm going to be showing you guys as we start here early on, but you guys have been sending me some of your battles. I've already got like at least 6 submissions, but keep them coming. I can't get enough of them here early on. Link is in the description of every single video to submit me your battles, and yeah, I appreciate it. Here we go. Scizor against Fortress. Fortress gonna go for that big rock tomb. We shielded, of course, and we're gonna build up some energy this way. Right, if they decide to let this go, we have some energy going into the next Pokemon, and they do let it go. And now, let's see what decides to come in. It's going to be, we're looking at that typing. It's Mandibuzz. And because my energy doesn't really do much to Mandibuzz, I decide to save the energy and go into my Dragalge here. And this is like not the best matchup for Dragalge. It's pretty neutral. But we just get outbulked a little bit. They swap in Gligar. And honestly, this kind of does me a favor. Because I have this head start of energy, I can dish out these Aqua Tails against Gligar. And this makes my life, as I said, a little bit easier. Gives me an efficient way to deal with this Gligar, and I'm just comfortable letting this go at this point. And now I'm thinking, okay, like, where can I use that energy, or where can I use the remaining Scizor best? We do one Bullet Punch to knock out this Gligar, and then we're going to try and get off double Night Slash against this Mandibuzz. Throwing after one Bullet Punch for proper timing allows me to get off both of those Night Slashes. That's actually a big deal. And they still have 2 Protect Shields to hide behind, so this is one of those situations where you kind of have to gauge, is it worth throwing the charge attack? I don't think so, because I would need to get to 3 flies in order for it to be worth throwing the charge attack. So I'm just going to at least build up to 2, right, and see if it's worth. And at this point, no way I'm getting to 3 flies. So I am going to start. I'm going to put up my final Protect Shield. They get to another Aerial Ace. I think that was damage registration error, so a bit unfortunate. But Moltres able to hang on against Mandibuzz. Very similar Pokemon, and well, I guess in terms of like their typing, right? But function very differently. One's very much like a high attack Pokemon where you really put on the pressure with those sucker punches and the high damage attacks, and then Mandibuzz, more of a defensive Pokemon where you spam off Aerial Ace and Dark Pulse with Snarl. So they have the same typing. They're very similar and very different. Kind of interesting. Here we go. The Shadow Scizor face-off. And look at this. We win the Charge Attack priority. This is going to be really helpful in this mirror match because one Night Slash will do a lot of damage, so you kind of have to respect it. If you take a Night Slash, you're just going to get farmed down. And we are going to respect the shield of our own. Not going to do anything fancy here. Just going to go for it straight away. If they catch, they catch. We go from there, but they throw on CMP once again. And because they let it go, or they shield, I decide, you know, I think I can farm this down before they get to another with my, but unfortunately they boost. So I do get the farm down in 5, but because they boosted, I take a great deal of damage on my Moltres. So not ideal. I decide to throw the Brave Bird here since he no longer has any Protect Shields, and then I'm going to dip into my Dragalge. I know he probably fired the Ice Punch anyway, but at least Dragalge can take this better than Moltres, especially after Moltres got debuffed. And then I actually get off the Aqua Tail first before the next Ice Punch since he was 3 hexes away, and I snuck in the Acid on the swap. Snuck in the Acid. Sounds kind of weird, right? And we're actually able to get off an Outrage here, which is big, before they get to a Shadow Ball. Does a ton of damage. Nice little overfarm by the opponent. At this point, I think my best course of action is just letting this Dragalge go and committing to the Sucker Punch down with my Moltres. Sucker Punch is doing a lot of damage. They do get off a parting attack here, but I'm simply going to shield the Surf. I think Surf would be enough to knock us out of this range. So a pretty close endgame because they might have been at the double Surf there. But we're just barely able to sneak out of there with a win. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let me know what you guys are enjoying early on. One issue I face, maybe you guys can provide advice for me. One conundrum I face is in these new season updates, early season, when I run a team like this, Shadow, Scizor, Galarian, Moltres, all 3 of these Pokemon got buffs, right? It's like, what do I use as the title, you know, as the thumbnail? I think Scizor might be the most exciting thing here, but sometimes when there's multiple in the same team, it's like, man, like I wish I could like highlight all 3 of these Pokemon in the title thumbnail, but you can't really like fit all 3 of them in the title. That's just too long, you know? So that's one issue sometimes you have to deal with. Oh, this was kind of crazy. I just totally did not think about Hyper Beam here, but we get Hyper Beamed by a Diggersby. Oh no, dude. And then I throw this because I thought I would throw on the Fire Punch CMP, but they must have not been running Fire Punch. So I make like 2 mistakes. Well, to be fair, it's maybe just, I don't know if you can call it a mistake, not respecting the Hyper Beam, as just so much like not making the right call. But here we are going to Protect Shield the Aqua Tail, and we're going to get a full Bullet Punch down. Man, those Bullet Punches really chunking. They come in with Jump Bluff, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe we're still in a good spot, even though that Diggersby put in more work than I would have liked. We get off a double Night Slash here. First one connected, second one is going to draw the Protect Shield, and because of Acid, this is going to be better for us. And Dragalge, it's not the bulkiest Pokemon in the world, but it's going to be bulky enough for us here where it should be able to withstand a single Acrobatics from Jump Bluff. If you're wondering why I'm not throwing Energy, it's because I didn't think it was quite in Aqua Tail range yet, and they did still have a Protect Shield, so I just wait till I feel like it's in Aqua Tail range, and then I'm going to fire off the double Aqua Tail, and they just decide to let it go. G, let's go, baby. Oh, you know what I might have been doing there? Apparently, my friend Elam discovered a thing. We're all familiar with one-turn lag, right? You like have a charge attack banked, and the game doesn't let your move show up. I think when I was doing these battles on stream, people were talking about, Elam posted a video where if you apparently if you minimize your app, like I was doing right there, and you come in after your Pokemon faints, apparently it mitigates entering with 1 turn lag. So like when if you're like choosing which Pokemon to come in with, and there's that 10-second rundown, and you minimize the app, and you come in like I was doing there, apparently it mitigates the 1 turn lag. So props to Elam for discovering that. Apparently it's like not allowed in competitive play, like in tournaments and stuff. That could be ruled as like cheating or something, which is kind of crazy. But I totally respect the rules that they have in place, and they have to like keep things under control and consistent, right? So it makes sense. Yeah, interesting stuff there. I think we were debating on whether we wanted to change the team here, but we decided to keep running for a couple more games. So I think we have 1 or 2 more games here to finish out with the team. And let's see what happens. Jamal. Scizor into Diggersby. Not the best. We're also a little bit like ABA weak here because the Fire Punch just one-shots us. And Dragalge doesn't really want to see this either. The problem you're going to see is Trailblaze isn't going to do quite enough here to one-shot. So Diggersby is actually going to be able to reach double Fire Punch. Maybe I could have like caught this on Dragalge. That would have been the best play, but we go down 2 shields. They come in with Dusknoir. I've always said Dusknoir, but then you guys get mad at me and say it's Dusknoir. That just sounds weird. That sounds weirder to me. Okay, so I bank a little bit of energy on Scizor. I tried to catch, but I was unsuccessful. They land Dynamic Punch. I get the farm down. They can't really come in with Diggersby, so they're going to have to reveal their third. What's it going to be? What's it going to be? It's going to be Charizard. Okay, so this is actually big right here. I elect to immediately throw the Brave Bird, and this is in order to give them less farm, because I didn't think I was going to reach double Fly. I didn't think I was going to reach them. I didn't think they were going to reach double Fly. Or I was going to reach double Fly. So I 1 turn lag there, which is unfortunate. I swap in. They kind of had to throw. So not really a catch here. They more so had to throw. And then I just have to be patient here and avoid the catch. And we're able to do that. We have an Outrage loaded. Outrage, I would presume, does more damage here than Aqua Tail, but Aqua Tail obviously would have KO'd as well. And, yeah, Outrage is such a really strong move, so. G to the G. There are some people that, it's really only a few that I've seen have gotten annoyed when I say G to the G. And you are kind of right. Like, it doesn't really make sense good to the game if you think about it, but, like, I think it sounds cool. Here we go. This is the final battle. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. Aerodactyl switches into Shaman. And it's a shame what's about to happen to this opponent. It's a shame, in all honesty, what Scizor is about to do to this person. And I can't absolve myself of this travesty. Taking out not 1, not 2. I don't know if they're lagging or if they just gave up at this point. But Scizor is going to Night Slash. And it gets the unnecessary boost. The insult to injury. Oh no, dude. Poor trainer. Poor trainer. They were just minding their own business. Should we, like, instant replay this game? Oh, my God. Dude, look how much those bullet punches are doing to Aerodactyl. Shaman. What hidden power do we think this is? It's doing so little. It's got to be, like, Bug. My guess is Bug. Or Grass. Or Poison. No, I'm going to go Bug. I'm feeling Bug. Or Grass. I feel like Poison would do even less. Because Poison would be triple resisted. Wow. Poor Absol. Poor Absol had his raid day, but today was not his day. And Scizor's going to get the full team sweep. And, you know, Scizor, I hate to rain on your parade, but, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. Yep. That is sometimes what happens early on in the season. You get trainers that are, you know, just playing their sets to get their rewards probably. And we do this. We PvP. We out here. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe to the channel. If you're new, comment down below. All comments are appreciated. And all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see your butts in the next one. Not actually your butts, but I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.